Yes, you cannot hear me. Thank you so much for that notification. We're going to begin again so that you are able to hear us. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our reopening presentation. We're going to go ahead and we'll start from slide 1 so that you are aware of all the information that is being shared with you today. This is our second semester plan for reopening for all schools in Atlanta Public Schools. Our purpose today is so that you can understand the factors for reopening and you can review the schedule and recommended process for the second semester for our district's reopening model, Return Plus Learn, so that we can present an updated plan for how we will provide learning options during the second semester. And we want you to take away that our district is providing you choice to select the model that best meets the needs of your children and our scholars, including in-person learning options. While we're reopening in January, well, there are several reasons we are reopening in January. Different circumstances than in October. Current research regarding children and community spread in schools, particularly our elementary school children. APS has designed a comprehensive COVID-19 testing protocol in partnership with our healthcare experts. We have been able to effectively launch an in-person and targeted intervention supports, which have given us the opportunity to evaluate our mitigation strategies and strengthen our health and safety protocols. Of course, you know that our country has vaccination in progress, and we have to consider the risk and well-being if we do not reopen for our children. This chart describes the CDC indicators for dynamic school decision making and how we make the decision whether or not to reopen. And what I want to highlight on this chart is our ability to implement the 5 key mitigation strategies once we reopen, which are consistent and correct use of masks, social distancing to the largest extent possible, hand hygiene and respiratory etiquette, cleaning and disinfection, and contact tracing in collaboration with our local health department. These are all the healthcare advisors that our central office and our senior cabinet and our superintendent engage with to make good decisions about reopening. And we also want you to know that if we have more than 60% of our scholars returning for in-person instruction, we will have the flexibility at Harper Archer Elementary School and any other school that has 60% or greater return for in-person instruction to modify the instructional model. I can tell you as of yesterday evening, we only have about a third of our scholars returning for in-person instruction. If you haven't completed that survey, you need to get that done by December 21st. We also want you to know that we have an Atlanta capacity dashboard, which is a tool that gives us an opportunity to model for our school leaders and our district leaders on how our classrooms and our shared campus spaces can be configured to meet the social or physical distancing recommendations that have been provided by the CDC. It gives us an opportunity to design or generate an ideal layout for classrooms. So I'm sure you're wondering how we are going to implement our mitigation strategies and what are we doing to make certain that we are protecting our students, our staff, and making sure that our facilities are also being safe for our scholars and our staff. This chart you have seen before, you have seen this flyer. I am confident that you have seen this flyer because our teachers have sent it to you via Remind, Class Dojo, they've posted it in Google Classroom. But just to give you a little bit more information about it, these are all the things and these are all the areas in which we have, as a district, that we have ensured that are taking place so that we can keep our students and our staff safe. So you'll notice that in that first column, it gives you bullet points specifically to what we're doing around the air. We have invested in Atlanta Public Schools $68 million to upgrade our heating, ventilation, and our air conditioning HVAC systems. In terms of our water, we are continuously flushing and disinfecting our water sources in our buildings. Water fountains will not be available for kids, but have no fear because we will have bottled water on hand, as well as we have 2 bottle filling stations in our school, and we are going to provide our scholars and our staff members with bottles so that they can refill their bottles with water at our bottle filling stations. Also, for our buildings and our buses, you'll notice in that third column that we are using fogging machines for that are commercial grade for cleaning, sanitizing in our schools and on our buses. Twice a day, our custodians are wiping down and cleaning high-touch common areas. We are using the hand sanitizer station in common areas and classrooms. All of our classrooms have been outfitted with hand sanitizing stations. And we are limiting the use of APS schools by outside organizations. And then in terms of what are we doing to take care and keep the people safe, we have developed a comprehensive COVID-19 testing strategy. We have been provided with personal protective equipment for our students and our staff and requiring the use of that PPE in our school building. We have also been given information on additional screening measures. We make certain that we are taking people's temperature, and we will take your child's temperature upon entry into the building as well as our staff members. We will be practicing physical distancing and other protocols per the CDC guidelines, and we are going to limit class size when needed. As I mentioned earlier, we have a comprehensive COVID-19 testing strategy that we will employ once we return to the school building in collaboration with our public health officials, community partners, local universities, and healthcare organizations. Our district has developed a comprehensive COVID-19 testing strategy. Testing will be made available for the following groups of people: students, teachers, and staff with symptoms identified through health screening protocols, students, teachers, and staff who have had contact with someone with COVID-19 in the school or workplace, and all students, faculty, and staff with possible exposure in the context of outbreak settings. Some more health and safety guidelines at our school levels. As I mentioned earlier, screening measures are in place. Students, staff, contractors, and any volunteers will be screened upon entry at all buildings by trained staff members. Our district will strictly adhere to illness guidelines, including temperature assessment. Listed below are PPP items, and we will follow the guidelines recommended by the Department of Health and CDC to assist our students and our staff in ensuring that they're using that personal protective equipment to the best of their ability, and as guidelines are provided to us. The following items will be made available in our classrooms: sanitizer stations, as I mentioned earlier. We have a spray bottle with disinfectant, paper towels, and face masks. It does say that they are limited for replacement. We are encouraging you to make certain that our children come to school with face masks. However, if they do not come to school with face masks, we do have a limited amount that we will make certain that they have that. Additional health screening procedures. As I mentioned a couple times before, but I want to mention it again, that all students and employees will be required to wear a mask that covers their mouth and their nose at all times. Daily cleaning protocols will be established to ensure that our workplaces, our workstations, equipment, and facilities are clean. Hand sanitizer stations have already been installed in our common areas and our classrooms. Our students and employees will also participate in daily temperature screening. Complete a daily questionnaire if they are experiencing symptoms or have been exposed to COVID-19. Parents, we are asking you to please assess your scholars, your children, before sending them to school each day. Before you put them on the bus, please make certain that you are asking them questions and screening to the best of your ability. The results of the self-assessment will determine if the individual should actually come to school, whether that is student or staff, or if they need to remain at home. Please make certain if your scholars are not feeling well, that you contact us at the school and you keep them home so that you can keep them safe and keep the people who are in person safe as well. We will also, it says here that our district will procure and distribute personal protective equipment for students and employees to use when in buildings. We have those items. All PPP have been purchased at the district office for us and have been delivered so that we don't have to worry about that. Here's just a list of those things, again, that are accessible to us. So you have been reminded before, but I'm going to remind you again about the 3 instructional delivery models that you can choose from, parents. It is very important that you make that decision for your child. and your family. One is virtual with our school. That's exactly what we've been doing since August. The second is in person at our school. And if you want your child to participate in in-person learning, you must complete that survey and choose in-person learning. And then the third option is virtual with Atlanta Virtual Academy, and that's being taught by teachers who are not teachers at Harper Archer Elementary School, but it is virtual school, sort of like what you're enrolled in at this moment. So here's the process. We've talked about a phase-in approach here of late, a phase-in approach. So beginning January the 25th, pre-K through second grade scholars at Harper Archer Elementary School and throughout our district will report to the building if you chose in-person learning. Scholars cannot get on the bus and they cannot be dropped off at our school if you have not chosen in-person learning via that declaration of intent form. Pre-K through second grade scholars will begin January the 25th. Our third through fifth grade scholars come the following week, February the 1st, but that's only if you have completed that declaration of intent form no later than December 21st. We will have traditional school hours. We'll begin at 8 o'clock and we will end at 2:30 once we start our phase-in approach. This is a schedule for middle and high schoolers, just in case you haven't had a parent meeting with your middle school and high school children. January the 25th, special education for low incident in grades 6 through 12. February the 1st, grades 6, 9, 10 will have an opportunity to come to school in person. And then the following February the 4th, grades 7, 8, 11, and 12, your in-person option begins. And you see the traditional school hours will start to begin on January 25th for all elementary, middle, and high school students. Here's just an overview of what I've already said before. The intent window is now open. The intent window is now open. If you want to do something different than what we are currently doing in terms of instructional delivery model, you must make that decision via that intent form. January the 19th, our teachers will return for in-person instruction. They will begin to teach virtually from the classroom. And then the following week, January the 25th, our pre-K through second grade scholars will enter the building on January the 25th only if the parent, only if you have completed that form and you have chosen in-person learning. And then February the 1st, which is the following week, our children in grades 3 through 5 will return for in-person learning. So what you also been told, and we want to remind you over and over and over again, for the remainder of the school year, Wednesdays will be asynchronous learning days. That means that scholars will have independent learning activities. They may have some tutorial if the teacher reaches out to you ahead of time, and they may have some small group learning on those Wednesdays. But for the most part, those Wednesdays, every Wednesday until the end of the school year, is designed for independent learning days. Some of the health and operation protocols that will be employed throughout our district on Wednesdays are district meal delivery, deep cleaning of our school buildings and workstations and workplaces, and COVID-19 testing. So here's just a little reminder again about the parent selection process for second semester. For our school, you have the option to select from the 3 learning models that best suit your student and your family's needs. Parents, you must complete the declaration form that outlines your intent for a particular learning model. If you don't complete that form by December 21st, your child will continue in virtual learning, just like we have been doing since August. Beginning December 3rd, it's just this reiteration. You have the option to select for the third quarter of the academic school year, and that's January through March. Somewhere around March or the end of February, we'll also open another declaration of intent form. And if at that moment you want to choose a different instructional model, you can do that for the last quarter. But you are making a decision for the next 9 weeks. Please make certain that you have the option to choose which instructional model, delivery model you want your child to participate in. The deadline to complete this form is December 21st. Form responses may be changed between now and the 21st, if you completed the form back in October, you still want that same instructional delivery model that you completed the form in October, you don't have to do anything. But if you have changed your mind since October and you completed that form in October, then you want to make certain that you go back in and make your decision. The declaration of intent form closes again on December 21st. Parents who do not complete this form by the deadline will remain in the current instructional learning model selected previously. We want you to know that in the spring and summer, we will be implementing an academic recovery plan. We will continue to use school-based interventions based on the identified needs of our scholars, whether it is mental health, wellness, behavior, or academic supports. We also want you to know that in June, we will develop and implement an academic recovery and intervention program that will happen 5 days a week for all scholars pre-K through 12. We want you to know that the areas of focus will be literacy and mathematics. And we will integrate and implement the whole child framework, which means that not just academic supports and intervention, but also for mental health, wellness, and behavior. And we also want you to know that this is not just a one and done. We're only going to provide this academic intervention and recovery for kids this summer, but it will be a multi-year implementation. And now we are stopping for questions and answers. I am going to stop sharing and come over to see if you have any questions that have not already been answered by our amazing team. All righty, I don't see any questions in the chat. I don't see any questions in the chat. I'll give you just a couple more moments. Thank you so much for checking in with us today. We appreciate you being here. Don't forget, if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to call us at 404-802-8500. And most, if not all information, I guarantee you is at www.hazetrailblazers.com. We appreciate you checking in. We appreciate you coming to our live reopening plan. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you and happy holidays to each and every one of you.